How much of our lives do we miss when we sit and fret and think about the future and think about and think about the past and worry about all these things in our head versus actually being present with the things that we love, with the things that we enjoy, finding them in the simple, beautiful things. This morning, I was just feeling a bit off. I was up late last night and energy was off, thinking about different things. And so I love coming on these beautiful walks in my neighborhood because I come by all these beautiful plants. Like, look at that. It's so incredible. And I noticed that when I come on one of these walks, I naturally get into this present meditative state. And I almost feel like time stops when I get to see all these really cool plants and all these cool flowers. And it helps me get into the present moment and really live life. Like, be here, be now. We have one life to live. And so I really enjoy getting into these moments of presence, even when life is busy, taking time to just become aware, become present, become focused. And when you implement that, when you bring a practice like that into your day, no matter how much stuff you have going on, no matter how overwhelmed you may feel, it brings this sense of peace and joy to life. I was talking to Skip, who's my therapist and friend of like 12 years. And so he has, what is it, orchids? I forget. He has one type of like blooming plant and he has a bunch of them. And he says like throughout the day, he just looks at it and just appreciates it and appreciates the beauty for what it is. And so as you go about living your life and being here and appreciating this experience of life, take some moments to get into the present moment or build practices into your life. If you're not used to it, if you haven't built that habit already, you can build these habits. You can learn to look for these things, because I'm actually just thinking right now, like, I've been in and out of this neighborhood since 2019. And when I first got here, before I was on this personal growth path, I was just so focused on business success and real estate. And honestly, I didn't notice a lot of these things. I didn't see a lot of the beauty of these natural plants. Like, I'm just looking at this right here, right now. Is it coming out? So, and then some of these sunflowers too. Is that coming out? Yeah. And I found myself very stressed and anxious as I, was striving so hard to build. And when I finally let go, and when I finally started working on myself and my internal emotions, that's actually when I ended up getting all the real estate, ended up building the food hall, ended up doing all these things that I was actually so much wanting and needing. When I let go, I actually started to get it. And at the same time, I started to become more present and seeing all the beauty around me and in me. And it starts with practices. It starts with habits. It starts with, if you're on this path to shift your life, to feel more love, to feel more peace, the way to do it is by building habits that do that. So if you're feeling off, if you don't know the way, if you're confused with direction, you have things in your life, you have practices that bring you back to that, right? Like, again, I mentioned this morning I was feeling off. I was up super late last night and wasn't in the best mood. But I have these awesome practices like meditation, like walking, like meditative walks. All the gratitude that I've done over the course of years of almost daily practice helps me reshift my brain, reshift my emotions in a very quick manner to start living and appreciating. And now it's an awesome day and I feel great. Not to say that the, negative, quote unquote, negative emotions are bad, right? It's not bad to feel down every once in a while. I just personally enjoy being able to shift it and not stay in those emotions for a long period of time. And when you have practices and you start building these practices of gratitude, of exercise, of meditation, of painting, of doing things that release your inner child and you become intentional with it, well, it creates a lot of beauty. And I've noticed that with experience, with time, you sometimes don't need to become as intentional with it. Like it becomes natural, it becomes routine. Like this morning walk is or run is such a routine of mine. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't even feel intentional. And as I'm walking and I walk by this incredible garden, I actually try to knock on their door before just to tell them how much I appreciate them for having this incredible garden. Just walking by it and appreciating life. Like, look at these beautiful little flowers. And that. And all the diversity of all these different things. Got a cool water thing for some nice beautiful sound. Some chimes. So it's a beautiful, slow Saturday here where I am. I'm soaking it in. I'm enjoying it. So if you have some extra time right now because you're on YouTube and scrolling, take some time to be intentional, to do something that you love, to do something where time stops. Maybe go on a walk, a run, a bike ride, go out into nature, paint, play with your kid. There's so many awesome things that you can do. And I'll leave you guys with that. I love you a lot. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Probably go do some surfing now. And I'll see you in the next video.